What's going on, guys? This is Damien from the Lookout and welcome to our How to Play Green Gobros, the next best green deck. Trust me, guys, this is tier 1. This is phenomenal. I would argue that it's as strong as Gohan. Like this one, maybe even stronger. This one is just crazy. So yeah, guys, this week we are doing a full week of how to play, guys. We're catching up with everything. We are on our way to 3,000 subs. Guys, hit those like and subscribe buttons, help us get there. But before we begin this video, huge shout out to our patrons, the Coffee Club. These guys buy us coffee, they keep us going. Their help is much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. If you wish to support us this way, link to our Patreon is in the description below. And yeah, that's it. Roll the video! As with all of our videos, let's start with the breakdown. So we'll start with an archetype breakdown. We're gonna take a look at everything in the archetype. Okay, most of the things. Then I'm gonna show you some lines of play, interactions. I will show you my deck list, and then we will go over the first 3 turns of the game, and then we'll just wrap it up with a summary. Let's go! Let's start with our leader. This is Son Goten, and he is amazing. He is phenomenal. Oh my god. This front side is amazing. Activate main once per turn. You look at top 5 and you add 1 Gohan Adolescence or 1 Son Goten to your hand, and then you shuffle your deck. Not specifying a cost. Not specifying a cost. You can grab your super combos. You can grab your boss monsters, you can grab pieces of the chain that you are missing. Absurd, just absurd. Tutoring 4 cards twice by turn 2 is always phenomenal. So you tutor first time on turn 1, and then you tutor again on turn 2, and then you awaken. So like, this is insane. Awakening is easy to achieve, but you won't be restanding energy. This is a new trend starting in the current set. We're no longer restanding energy. Let's take a look at the Awakened side. On the Awakened side, this is one of the best green leaders that we've ever had. This one is utterly amazing. It's insane. So, 15k. Okay, let's start. First off, you draw up to 3 cards per turn. This info isn't 100% correct because you draw up to 3 minimum. You can draw up to 8. I will show you how. But the leader allows you to draw up to 3. You constantly recycle your 1-drops, which you will need to draw into Evolve. And what's cool, when you use your Activate Battle ability, which says that you need to discard a card to be able to free play a 6 cost, you can actually discard the 1-drop because you're just gonna get it back with your Activate main. You're not minusing from hand when you're doing this. And of course, Activate Battle allows you to free play your 6 cost cards, which is really a ton of value. It's a ton of value. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say draw 3? Now actually it is draw 5 up to 8. You can draw up to 5 cards per turn. You can draw more, but I'm gonna leave that for later. You're using your 1-drops and you're using Frieza Army Healing Pod. If you don't have this card, go get it. It's gonna get bought out because of this deck. Trust me. So whenever you play a green battle card from your drop area, draw 1. That includes your 1-drops, which also draw. And when you play a 6-drop, you also draw. Here is a quick and easy way to explain this. So you start, you draw 1. You draw your 1 per turn. Activate main, you play a 1-drop. His auto triggers, you draw 1. Then Healing Pod's auto triggers, you draw 1. After that, you pay 1 to play a 4-drop. You tutor for a card. So you search for a card and you add it to your hand. This counts as drawing. So you draw 1, you attack with Goten, activate battle from your leader, discard 1, play a 6 cost. Leader's auto triggers, draw 1. And yeah, what's the result of this? The result is that you draw 5 cards. Looking at it in a bit of more detail, you just drew 5 cards for a single energy. You spend a single energy to draw 5 in the entire turn cycle. If you don't want to count the normal draw at the start of the turn, then you draw 4 cards for a single energy. Yeah, The best part is that you draw so much by just doing normal stuff. You're not going out of your way, like I showed you. You're not doing like draw apes or something out of the archetype just like to get some extra draws. No, you're just doing things that you would be doing normally, and you still draw this much. So that's incredible. That's like Gogeta levels of draw, and I'll show you later it can be even bigger. It can be huge. Any deck which can just simply draw up to 5 cards per turn, sometimes even more, just by doing its flat out normal stuff, is bound to be insane. It's just bound to be insane. We also have a game-ending threat in our Z extra card, and this was the first one with Z-Stack ever revealed. This one is just crazy because for free you basically play it because you need to play it to awaken, and then whenever you're ready, whenever you have the conditions met, you can just for free make your 8-drop 40k critical. And you can just make him even bigger, because you also have a Goku Z battle card. Here it is. Now things are just getting absurd. They're just getting absurd. First off, he restands your boss monster. He restands your boss monster. So you get another swing. But what he also does is he also gives your boss monster plus 10k and triple strike, making your attack 50k critical triple strike, and then you restand, and then you can swing again for 30k single strike. It's like just one more time, but it's 30k single. So yeah, if your opponent doesn't negate, you just go okay, family Kamehameha, pay 1 for Goku, and then we just do the whole big activate battle thing, 50k critical triple strike. There you go. We of course have a boss monster, so let's quickly go over this one. This one is phenomenal. Not because of anything that it really does. It's much better when you get the family Kamehameha on. But the reason why it's so phenomenal is because it's a generic green boss monster for 1 energy. It's a green generic boss monster for 1. Doesn't have any protection, but it costs only 1. On attack, you remove 2 markers from your opponent's unison. This is becoming less and less important because less and less decks are playing unisons. And then his other ability, once per turn, when any green Saiyan deals damage, you can either KO a battle card or discard 1 from your opponent's hand. So this card doesn't need to deal damage. If your leader is a green Saiyan and you deal damage, it triggers. If a different attacker is a green Saiyan and deals damage, it triggers. Just once per turn, but you don't need to deal damage with this card. That's phenomenal. Finally, the last thing that we need to take a look at is the evolve chain. Gohan and Goten have a mostly free evolve chain. Why do I say mostly free? Because you can play your 1-drops for free, which are leader's effect. You can play your 6-drops for free, which are leader's effect, but you need to pay for the 4-drops. So you're always gonna have to pay at least 1 energy the first time that you're going from 1 to 6. The entire chain is extremely consistent. This is stupid consistent because 4-drops tutor, 1-drops tutor. Like half of these cards here, except the 6-drops, tutor for cards. And you just casually draw 5+ per turn. Like this is stupid consistent. The 4-drops and the 6-drops also draw you a card. 4-drops tutor, which is drawing a card as well, and 6-drops draw you a card from leader's effect, while the SR also draws from his effect. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's check out the deck list. Here is the deck list that we're gonna be using. Link is in the description below. One important thing. Deck Planet doesn't have Z extra cards in it yet, so you have 1 extra slot in the Z deck, count it as Z extra card. Like those cards aren't yet on the website. I will update these lists once we get them. But yeah, this is my crazy build. Feel free to use it as a blueprint for your builds. It's not highly optimized. I don't believe that this is the best version, but there's probably gonna be better ones. Anyways, we're gonna be using this, and yeah, let's check out the mulligan. Let's start with the mulligan. First off, Frieza's Army Healing Pod. You absolutely need this card. If you're not confident with 3 copies, go with 4. Trust me, a lot of your draw power just crumbles without it. You absolutely need this card. Nothing else matters. You need this card in your hand turn 1. And then let's just go with 4 drops. I put 4 drops in. It really doesn't matter like what you keep. Mostly depends on the matchup. It doesn't matter as much because you just tutor for everything and you draw a billion cards. But let's go with 4 drops. So yeah, this is the mulligan. What we're gonna do now is show you turns 1, 2 and 3. So if you're new to the channel, this is what we usually do on all of our how to play guides. This is the staple of our guides. So let's just jump into it. Gobros is one of the most consistent decks that we've had in quite a while, and it's green. I would argue that this is the most powerful green deck that we have right now. We'll be going over the first 3 turns with this deck. Due to deck's consistency, there is going to be a little variety in lines of play, but that's not a bad thing. So as long as you can play the game in the same way across multiple games and you basically win most of the time, that's good. That's phenomenal. You want to be doing that, and Goten has the ability to do that. We'll be using our deck list. We are assuming that you went first and also that you have kept the shown mulligan. Let's see what the power of family can do. Turn 1, your main goal is to get the healing pod out. Turn 1 is always the same, but this is your optimal play. So you start, you draw 1 and you use your leader's activate main. You look at top 5, you put a card to hand, you put a 1 drop. You pay 1 to play healing pod and then you just pass the turn. Now why is this your optimal play? Because ideally you get the 1 drop into your hand, and then on your opponent's turn you need the Z energy. You will be comboing with this 1 drop and then you can get it back into play for free on your turn 2. Turn 2, awaken and draw a ton of cards. Trust me, you won't believe the amount of cards that you're gonna be drawing by the end of turn 2. Okay, so here's what happens. You start, you draw 1 at the start of your turn. You use your activate main, and let's say that you get the 6 drop if it isn't in your hand by now. That's 2. You drew 2 cards. You pay 1 and you pay 1 Z energy to play Family Kamehameha, and now you can awaken. You awaken, you draw 2 cards. That's 4. Activate main to play your 1 drop from the drop for free. Your 1 drops auto triggers, draws 1, that's 5. This triggers healing pods auto because a card was played from your drop, and then you draw 1 more, that's 6. Now you pay 1. Now you play your 4 drop. He tutors for a card. Let's say you add this 1 drop, you add it to your hand, that's 7. It's time to attack. You attack with your 4 drops, no counters because your opponent is tapped out. Then you use activate battle of your leader to discard a card. You discard the 1 drop because you're just gonna get it back, and then you have discounted the activate battle of your 6 drop, making it free. You use your 6 drops activate battle to play it on top of the 4 drop, and then he draws you 1 card. That's 8. Now, because you have played a 6 cost Son Gohan or Goten, your leader's auto triggers, you draw 1. That's 9. The attack continues, the attack resolves, you attack with your leader, and then you pass the turn. What is the result? The result is, as promised, one of the craziest draws in the game. Not counting lives, you drew 9 cards in this 1 turn cycle. You spent 2 energy. You drew 9 cards. If you want to count lives, you drew 10 to 11 cards, as you might not have taken damage during your opponent's turn. If you take damage during opponent's turn 1, then you take like 1 damage, you grab 1 life when you awaken, that's 10. If you didn't take any, because you are going to Z charge, so you are comboing, then you take 2 cards, and then you go up to 11. 9 to 11 cards on turn 2 for 2 energy. Now tell me that this isn't insane. Tell me that this isn't Gogeta levels of card draw. And it just gets crazier. It just gets crazier on turn 3. On top of that, you have also awakened, established your Z extra card, prepared your drop for turn 3, KO'd a card with a 6 drop, and you have dealt around 2 to 3 damage. Now let's check out turn 3. Turn 3, what is it? It's basically draw, play, draw, attack, play, draw, and so on. We start the turn, we draw 1, charge, and then we use our activate battle to play the 1 drop. Then this draws us 1 from the 1 drop, our auto triggers from the field, draw 1, and now we pay 1 to play the 4 drop in active mode on top of the 1 drop. His auto triggers, tutors for 5, tutors top 5 cards, grabs 1, then he attacks. Opponent says no counters, let's say he says no counters, activate battle, discard the 1 drop, play the 6 drop for free, his auto triggers, draw a card, KOs a card, your leader's auto triggers, draw a card, then the attack resolves, you pay 1 for your 1 drop, okay, for other 1 drop, he enters, draw 1, you pay 1 for the 4 drop, he tutors for a card, that's draw 1, now he attacks, attack resolves, you attack with the leader, and then finally you pass the turn. Here is the result of turn 3. So you drew 8 cards in total. 8. On your awakening turn you drew between 9 and 11. Let's lowball it. Let's say that you drew 10, because there's no way that your opponent's gonna deal 2 damage on turn 1. And now you drew 8. In 2 turns you drew 18 cards from your deck. 18. You've also attacked 3 times, you have tutored for 2 cards, and now you should be able to win on turn 4 when you can get your Family Kamehameha going and just flat out win the game. Before we end the video, let's jump into the summary. Goten is the next best green deck. I mean, I have shown you how much you can draw. Like, it's insane. No other deck in the game currently has this amount of draw power. 18 cards across turns 2 and 3. And that's like 9 to 11, and then it's 8 on the following turn. This is Gogeta levels of draw power. You're not as aggressive as Gohan, for example, but you're hyper consistent and you draw like mad. Now there might be an argument, don't skip this section, listen to me. There might be an argument that, hey, you don't have protection. None of this has any protection. Yeah, you know, Gogeta also didn't have protection. So, except the big one. So what you're basically doing here is the same. You're drawing so many cards per turn, you're just going to bully your opponents with your massive hand size. Like, you just bully them with your hand size. It's crazy. The engine is huge. It is massive. However, you can play a lot of cards for very cheap, and a solid amount of battle cards have deflect. Your 4-drop has deflect, your 6-drop SR has deflect. Those are the most important ones, and then 1 drops you cheat in with your leader. So yeah, protection, a lot of deflect. The deck seems easy, like an easy deck to pilot, but it's very hard to master. It's very hard to master. It's a great entry point for new players. I believe that this is a great deck for new players, as 90% of it is the engine that is in the set, and I highly recommend it to everyone. I honestly think that this one is better than Gohan, or at least as strong as Gohan is, because drawing so many cards, that's just flat out not bad. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below, are you hyped to play Gobros? Do you agree with me? Do you think that this is going to be the best green deck moving forward, or one of the best green decks moving forward? Let me know this in the comments. Did you know how much this deck can draw before you saw this video? And has this video changed your opinion on green Gobros? Let me know in the comments. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. This entire week we're doing how to play guides, guys. We're really pushing it to 3K, so please share the video, hit those like and subscribe buttons, help us grow. We're on our way to 3K subs, and then we're gonna have an awesome giveaway. This has been Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.